You know that tiny moment when you glance at your phone and it just opens? No password, no typing, no thinking. It feels like magic. But under the glass, your phone is doing something way stranger than recognizing you. Here's the reframe. Face ID and fingerprint unlock do not really see your face or read your fingerprint. They run a fast, private yes or no test inside a locked room and then hand your phone the keys. So, what exactly is that test? Where does your face live when you enroll it? Why does your phone sometimes suddenly demand your passcode, even though your face is right there? And what does any of this have to do with passkeys and the end of passwords? Let's open the phone. The first illusion. My phone stores a photo of my face. Most people picture Face ID like this. Camera takes a picture, then saves it somewhere, then compares new pictures to it later. That would be terrifying. And honestly, kind of clunky. Instead, Face ID does something closer to this. It turns your face into a math signature. On iPhones with Face ID, the True Depth system projects and captures depth information plus an infrared image. Then the device transforms that into a mathematical representation and compares it to what was enrolled on the device, which see, protected by the secure enclave. Not a photo, not a video, not something your apps can browse like an album. More like a lock pattern made of numbers. And on fingerprint sensors, it is the same idea. The sensor is not saving a perfect image of your fingerprint. It extracts features and builds a template that can be matched later, again in a protected part of the system. So the first big takeaway, biometrics are not a picture of you, they are a compressed math credential. The locked room, where the matching really happens. Now here is the clever part. Your phone does not let the normal operating system, where apps live, handle your biometric secret. The normal operating system is like a busy office building, with tons of doors and lots of traffic. Mistakes happen. So modern phones use a separate, hardened vault. On Apple devices, that is the secure enclave. It is designed to keep sensitive secrets isolated. On Android, strong biometrics are handled in a secure environment. The platform defines biometric classes and rules for what counts as strong enough for sensitive use. Imagine it like this. Your phone has a nightclub. The main floor is iOS and Android, loud, busy, chaotic. The bouncer is in a soundproof booth with one button, yes or no. Apps do not get your face data. They do not get your fingerprint template. They get the bouncer's answer. Separation, from sensor to secure vault to a simple yes or no, is one of the biggest reasons biometrics can be both convenient and relatively private. Okay, but how does Face ID stop a photo from fooling it? People often assume it is just a camera, right? But Face ID is specifically built around depth. Depth is the difference between a flat postcard and a sculpted mask. Depth is what your face has, that a photo does not. Apple's public documentation describes Face ID using a depth map plus infrared imaging, then using the device's neural engine, protected within the secure enclave, to create and compare that mathematical representation. There's another small twist many people miss. Face ID can be attention-aware. It can check whether your eyes are open and you are actually looking at the device, depending on your settings and model. So it is not just asking whether this is a face, it is closer to asking whether this is your face in 3 dimensions and whether you are present. Why your phone sometimes seems to forget your face and demands a passcode. You've seen it. You wake up your phone. You look directly at it. And it shows the message, passcode required. That's not random. That's a security rule kicking in. Because biometrics are not meant to replace your passcode forever. They are a convenience layer on top of a stronger foundation. Apple is unusually explicit about this. Biometrics provide easy access within boundaries and time constraints, and certain situations require the passcode again. For example, a passcode is required if the device was restarted. It has not been unlocked for more than 48 hours. There have been 5 unsuccessful biometric attempts. A security-sensitive action occurred. For example, a remote lock command was sent. Why? Because your passcode is the bedrock. It is the thing that anchors encryption and trust. Biometrics are fast. Passcodes are foundational. So when your phone gets strict, it is basically saying this: I will accept the quick proof most of the time, but every so often, I need the master key. Myth versus reality. The myth says biometrics are either perfectly safe or totally useless. Reality is messier and more interesting. Even the best systems talk in probabilities. Apple publishes rough false match odds as part of its security guidance, and it also notes important caveats such as twins, similar-looking siblings, and younger children. Android has formal categories for biometric strength and performance. One example is Class 3, formerly called Strong, which applies to biometrics used for higher security actions and application programming interfaces. The point is not that biometrics never fail. The point is this: your phone does not need perfect certainty. It needs controlled risk plus good fallbacks. That is why failed attempts trigger a lockout. That is why passcodes are required again after certain conditions. That is why sensitive actions often ask for authentication again. The bigger plot twist: unlocking your phone is not the main event anymore. Here is the twist that makes Face ID and fingerprints feel like the future. More and more, your biometric unlock is not unlocking the app. It is unlocking a key. A cryptographic key. This is exactly what passkeys are built around. With passkeys, you authenticate using the same local action you use to unlock your device, such as Face ID, fingerprint, or PIN. Under the hood, the device uses public key cryptography. A private key stays on your device, and you prove you have it by signing a challenge. So when a website asks for Face ID, the site is not getting your face. It is basically asking your device, can you unlock the private key and prove it is you? That is why passkeys are described as phishing resistant. There is no password to steal, reuse, or type into a fake site. Suddenly, biometrics become less like a password replacement and more like a fingerprint-shaped light switch that turns on the vault just long enough to use a secret key. So what does this mean for real life? It means a few everyday things you've probably felt. Your phone gets better at recognizing you over time. Some systems refine the stored representation as you successfully authenticate, so changes like hair, glasses, or aging don't break it as easily. Apple notes Face ID data can be refined and updated as you use it. Biometrics are convenient until they're not. Cold fingers, wet hands, harsh sunlight, odd angles. The system is playing a probability game under time pressure. Unlock is now a gateway. It's not just your home screen, it's your banking app, your password manager, your digital wallet, your passkeys, which is why the phone treats that one moment, proving it's you, like a sacred ritual. Practical takeaways, simple choices that help. Here are a few choices that make biometric unlock work with you, not against you. First, use a strong passcode. Your passcode is the foundation that biometrics sit on top of, and devices deliberately fall back to it in security-sensitive moments. Next, keep attention features on if you like the extra barrier. If your device supports attention-aware checks, that can reduce accidental unlocks. And it adds a little verification, as if the device is asking, "Are you actually here?" Third, do not enroll biometrics casually on shared devices. Every additional enrolled fingerprint or alternate appearance can slightly change the probability landscape, so use them intentionally. Apple even notes how probabilities can shift with more enrolled data. Fourth, expect the passcode prompt and treat it as a good sign. The device restarted? You have not unlocked in a while? Too many failed attempts? That is the system doing its job. Finally, if you are using passkeys, realize what you are really doing. You are not sending Face ID to the internet. You are approving local access to a private key that proves you are you. The satisfying ending, the magic trick revealed. So what happens when you use Face ID or fingerprint unlock? A sensor captures a snapshot of features. A protected vault turns those features into math. It compares that math to an encrypted template stored in isolation. And if it is close enough, within strict rules, it returns one word. Yes. Not your face, not your fingerprint, just yes. And that yes is powerful enough to open your device, authorize a payment, unlock your password manager, or release a private key that logs you into the internet without a password. So the next time your phone unlocks with a glance, remember, it is not recognizing your face the way a human does. It is doing something weirder. It is letting you borrow the keys to a vault for half a second because the math says you are home.